Okay, we appear to be live, so welcome everybody to session 9 of Gray Skies and Electric Light, my MYFAROG campaign using the Coming rule set. It's been a little bit of time since we've been able to get together. Life has been kind of, you know, getting in the way a little bit, but we're back, and we're gonna try and continue this adventure the best we can. So, to recap, the party, that being Ronald and Hector, had encountered a strange young lady with a rifle trained at them, and they quickly found out that this woman was friendly, or seemed to be friendly. Her name was Danny, and she had basically been camping out at the kind of like out in the outskirts of Unity City for a while. She had apparently taken part in the riot that took place at the Citadel with a few of her friends, and she's the only one that had survived. A short while later, Sergeant Soleil rejoined the party, and Danny took them back to her kind of hideout in her electric Hummer that she happened to have. They spent the night there, and in the morning they wanted to go into the city to acquire some more arms for themselves, which Danny had a contact with. So they went down to this contact, and they picked up a few more arms, and the contact had also supplied them with a van with a rather unusual name to it. It's written down somewhere. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's some sort of debauchery would go on in this van. So, much to the chagrin of the party, but it was a vehicle, and so they piled into the vehicle and began to kind of plot out what their next step would be. So that's where we ended up the last session. So I'm gonna go clockwise from my screen. So we're gonna start with what everybody's doing. So we're gonna start with Soleil. What's kind of Soleil doing right now? I think she's in the cabin of the van.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, we're in the parking lot of the hospital, right?
I believe that we were heading down that way.
Okay. I'll just be checking over all my gear.
And let's see, Danny, if you're available, you gonna like think what's going on with you, if you're too busy, then we'll just go over to. Okay. It's probably going to be more or less the same for Danny. She's probably just going to be kind of checking over her gear, and she's going to be checking over her gear and just kind of staring down at the floor in the van. Now, what is Ronald Springs up to?
I think Ron's just getting used to the van. He's probably adjusting the mirror and adjusting his seats, and he's probably still a little precautious about the getaway. So he's going to be kind of checking the mirrors every so often, just to make sure nobody's following us at all, as far as suspicious vehicles. But otherwise, he's going to be focused on the road.
Okay, so Hector is in the back of the van. Hector is Lubin's character, and Lubin is not with us right now, so I will kind of take control of him as is like an NPC type of character. So if like the two or three of you would like to, you can kind of role play any sort of conversation you might have.
Does everyone understand what we're trying to do here?
I guess Ron's just going to kind of nod and be like, what's the best way to get into this place? I've never really had to break into a hospital before, but I guess the quieter the better.
I think one time there was a standoff I was involved in. Some guy had barricaded himself into his hospital room, and I don't know, but they had us come in through the cargo bay, I think.
That might be a smart place to start.
Yeah,
I guess
because won't be overly guarded, and it will have easily marked paths to everywhere else in the building.
That makes sense. So yeah, I guess we'll kind of start driving down, and I guess the hospital would probably be kind of in the middle of the city, or at least in a very urban zone. So we'll cautiously drive through the city, and once we see the hospital approaching, we'll circle around it at some point.
Until you feel you're ready.
But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of traffic and all the highlights of the city, as any urban city would have. But yeah, it's going to be very difficult for this van to not be noticed, I imagine, but we'll do our best.
What we may have to do is pull up to the cargo bay, get out really close to it, and then just sort of run right in.
It's possible. I mean, cargo bays probably are used to having vehicles drive in and out. I was just more so talking about like our decals on the side of our vehicle that are prominently displayed.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to hope that nobody questions it until we're already sort of inserting into the building.
Okay.
I mean, Xander and Thraxton's wasn't exactly a food delivery truck, so this will be interesting.
This will be, yeah.
All right. So, remind me again where exactly you where exactly you are. You said you're in like the parking lot of the this hospital area.
I think we're heading there, is what you said.
Yeah, we're heading in the direction of the hospital. I think perhaps we might just circle around the hospital just to kind of gauge what the situation's like, and if we see some sort of rear access or maintenance or, you know, food delivery kind of entrance, we'd probably go for that over the, I guess, public kind of parking lot. But if all else fails, we'll go for the parking lot.
Let's see. See. Stacy's not going to be. Stacy's not available right now, so I'm gonna take over the role of Danny for a little bit, or at least until she's ready. So, Danny's going to kind of. She's been kind of in like a almost like a little trance, staring at the ground, and she's gonna look up and she's like, "I've got an idea. It might be a stupid idea, but I've got an idea. What if I were to dress up as a nurse and like and infiltrate and kind of case the place and look for anybody who could anything that could help us out."
That could work. I wonder if there are any nurse costumes in here. Then again, probably best not to explore that avenue.
Well, this is Danny speaking. Well, if they're anything like you as police officers, if they're anything like you, like police officers, I suspect that they might be chipped as well. So I'm kind of wondering if we were able to kind of lure a nurse out somewhere. We knock her out. We this is gonna sound really crazy. Extract the chip that would be in her arm, put it in my arm, take her scrubs, and then I can have access to the building.
I mean, do you think we could do that?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. Let's go figure out how to lure a nurse out.
Just as you're kind of like talking about that, you hear like a loud bang on the back of the the van. It's not Hector. It's like someone like kind of banging on like the door from the outside, and you hear someone just like yelling out, "Hey, open up!"
Sorry, we're closed.
I don't care that you're closed. I got a bone to pick with you guys. And if you were to like
A lot of our customers do. Why don't you move along?
that's the thing. The guy kind of if you were to like look out your window, you're going to see a man. He's like a very Caucasian looking man, and he just looks like the whitest trash you could ever imagine. And he's standing right next to what appears to be like a rusted out like Chevy pickup truck from like the early 90s, and it has like one of those like a truck bed like shells on it, and scrawled on it in kind of a very similar fashion, but also extremely crudely, scrawled on the very boldly on the side of the pickup truck. It just says, "Fuck truck." And this guy, he's gonna say, "It's like this is my turf. You better clear off. Like you're gonna be taking away my customers."
Let me tell you something. You best understand we're not here for business. We're here for business of another kind. That isn't our usual thing. We're doing food delivery to the hospital. This van is being rented.
Right, I'm sure. Next thing I know, that you're gonna be stealing all my usual clients, like left and right, and kind of as you're this guy's kind of going up. Hector's gonna kind of step out of the back of the van. He's going to kind of grab the man by the shoulders. He's gonna reach behind him, just grab him. The guy's gonna kind of like freak out and just like start kicking and screaming wildly, and Hector's just gonna be like, "You go on ahead. I'll take care of this man or whatever he is. I'll catch up with you later." And he just kind of
Thanks, Hector. All right,
drags
let's
him
move.
off into like an alleyway, and now you're just
All right, so I think the play here might be if we're still going with that infiltration plan to case the place, what we might be able to do is say we have someone who needs to go to the hospital in our van who his heart gave out while he was engaged in, well, what this truck is for. And we need some, I don't know. Actually, they might send too many people into the van for that. So, is that a good plan or no?
That sounds like a brilliant plan. Let's just hope there's one nurse that's kind of hanging outside that we can just convince to help us out of the vehicle, or convince us to help, somebody out of the vehicle, and then we can.
I mean, one of us could technically go in as a patient, I guess, with like a fake name.
All right.
That also would work. I'm down for either plan, but.
Well, if we're going to do that one, which I think might actually be better, who would like to be the patient?
I'll be the patient. Why not?
Yeah, sounds good. We're all in agreement about this?
Sounds good.
Sure.
All right. Hector is Chuck of Chuck's Fuck Truck still, subdued? I don't think his name was actually Chuck. Just thought it'd be funny.
It is now.
We'll say his name
It
is
is.
Chuck. Alright, so now you gotta, let's see, so Ron's volunteered to be the patient, from what I understand. And now you
need a good fake name and a good reason to be there.
Clyde Barker. That's your fake name, unless you have a better one. Just seems innocuous.
All right, I trust you. That sounds like a good name.
And then your reason for being there could be maybe
Please don't just shoot him in the leg.
well, it has to be something it would have to be something where it's like you wouldn't know he's sick by looking at him, so that they don't know that he doesn't have it by looking at him. And well, the other option would be shooting him in the foot, but yeah. You've got a triple hernia.
There you go.
Walk a little funny. Sell it.
Is the like emergency room within eyeshot of our van? Just out of curiosity.
I would say the emergency room is probably, you can kind of like see it like very boldly. It's just like it's like a there's like a big set of double doors, or like a couple sets of double doors, and you just have a emergency and like lit up in like big red letters above the doorway, and you can actually see a what appears to be a member of like the hospital staff standing outside one of the doors. She appears to be taking a few hits off of like a vape pen or something.
I'll just kind of like shout over, be like, "Excuse me, miss, can you help me get into the hospital? I'm having some trouble walking. It's a long story. I'm just kind of like, I'll have my hand around my private area. I'm just kind of standing near my van, hobbling out. I think she can kind of get the message.
The yeah the woman will obviously kind of she's like, okay, so what's wrong?
It's just it's kind of an embarrassing story, and I'm just gonna wait for her to kind of approach the van closer.
Yeah,
I guess we're gonna go with plan A. So
she's she's just gonna be totally oblivious to what like what you guys are gonna be doing. So she's just gonna, you know, just be entirely just clueless and just follow you, just like go along with whatever you're doing. Like she suspects nothing.
this is so terrible. I guess there's like the back part of the van. I guess we are going with the plan A. That would make the most sense. I'll open it up and just be like, I just need to grab some of my like medical paperwork and all that. And as she gets close, I'll just kind of see if Danny and Greiser are at least in eye shot and kind of see what's going on.
Okay, so you lured her over. You're like looking, either pretending to look for something in the van, and
Yeah, I guess as she gets close, I'll just kind of politely ask her to get into the van, a little more forcefully than politely, and just explain to her that obviously we just need to take her on a bit of a trip. She's just going to chill in the van basically, and my good colleague, I guess Elizabeth. I won't use Danny's name. I'll just make up a fake name as Elizabeth is going to be taking her place for a little bit for her remainder of her shift.
do you have a do you have like a do you have like a I guess like what I'm trying to ask is like, so you like looter in there, you basically told her that Danny, or whatever her pseudonym is, will be taking her place. That's correct. So,
Correct.
So yeah, this woman is obviously very rightly kind of
Freaked out.
freaked out. So he's just like, what are you? This is like, what are you talking about? You can't just like, you can't just do something like that.
I'm just gonna shove her in the van, just because this is gonna make a scene in front of the hospital. I really don't want that to escalate, so I will politely, as gingerly, quietly as I can, just kind of shove her in the van. Nudge her towards the van.
Danny's just gonna crawl back with a knife and just go, lock the door. Where's your chip? Give me your arm.
Chip, what are you talking about? Like
I'll just kind of like hop or close the door and just kind of hop in the front and just turn kind of to face, I guess, the bed area and just be like, do you have an access card, a chip, microchip, any kind of identification?
I mean, I have my I've got my name badge over here.
Well, that makes things easy. Hand that over to the lovely lassie with the very sharp instrument behind you.
She's just gonna kind of very shakily just kind of unclip the badge off of her scrubs and try and hand it over. And Danny, you were gonna like try and like search for a chip, right?
Yeah, didn't I have like a little thing that I could like... How did I find the other ones? I don't remember.
I think he had like a little like metal detector, if I recall. I can't recall exactly that. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I'll find that in my bag, and I'll check for a chip as well.
Yeah, make me a. I'm gonna say like a foraging check. Would it be foraging?
Okay.
Would that be like the relevant skill? Just like she's looking for something. Well, I wouldn't.
If you're just looking for something, that should just be perception, possibly foraging.
Okay. I got a 17.
Well, yeah, I would say it would be kind of like an intelligence check, but yeah, she as the kind of like the woman is kind of distracted, Danny just kind of like cuts into this poor woman's arm, and she's able to locate a exactly what she's looking for. Just like a little tiny chip that was in her arm, much the same that Soleil, Hector, and Ron both like all had.
Gotcha. All right. And so I'm just going to take it and then, without flinching, just cut a little slit in my arm and just shove it in, and then grab probably like a Band-Aid out of my bag.
You're insane, says the lady that you have just
Thank you. Now give me your clothes.
I'm sorry?
Clothes. Now, let's go. And Danny's just gonna like start kind of stripping in the back kind of awkwardly.
I guess Ron will be like, "There's a couple of blankets back there if you want to cover up," just like kind of awkwardly, and he'll just be facing dead forward. He's not even going to be looking back.
This lady is gonna. She's not she complied up to this point, but now she's gonna try and like kind of resist and put up a little bit of a fight. So she's gonna try and like start like kicking and pushing you away, trying to like.
I mean,
screaming.
you could give me.
I'm sorry.
You could give me your clothes. You could give me your clothes, and then after I'm done, you can leave alive, or I will kill you and take your clothes.
Make a social.
The choice
skills
is yours.
Check. Make a social skills check.
15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. You convince her, and she'll just kind of take off the scrubs and hand them to you, which surprisingly fit well to you.
Awesome. All right. I'm ready to go.
What are you going to do to me now? Says the nurse. Or
you're gonna sit on this very questionable mattress for the next half hour or so.
No.
Seeing as the the woman is not decent anymore, she will just kind of sit down and say no more.
Okay. So what's my name now? What was this lady's name? Elizabeth?
Yeah, we'll say her name was like the name on the badge is just like Elizabeth.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go. I'm just gonna kind of crawl back up to the front and step out.
Now, I imagine one of us is probably going to have to stay with her unless we trust her to just remain by herself in the car, which I don't think is going to happen.
It's a bad idea. All right. So who's
So, Leigh, did you
staying?
want to go in, or did you want me to go in? I mean, I'm kind of already on the camera once they check back far enough of pushing this poor nurse into the van, but... It's entirely up to you, though. You know what? I think the sergeant's just, she's relaxed and listening to the music. Let's just head in, Danny. That sounds good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were talking to me.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure if you wanted to head in or if you wanted me to head in.
I'll hang back here and make sure no one messes with the van.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll leave the radio kind of playing, and we'll head towards the hospital, I guess, with some newfound identification.
Are you still hobbling, or am I the only one acting at this point?
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of hobble behind you to make it seem like I'm just a patient following wherever this nurse is leading me.
All right, this is gonna get fun.
All right, so Soleil now has her disguise, and Ron is the fake patient. So I guess the best thing to do would be to you'd probably make your best thing to do would probably to make your way to hospital to admit the patient, and Soleil is going to kind of stick behind, right?
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
That sounds right. But I was just thinking, if we're admitting he has a patient, we want to get to neurology. Was that correct?
Yes.
Like that floor. So we're gonna have to change my story real quick, but that's totally fine.
I mean, I could hit you over the head if you want.
That might help, but I think I can hopefully play it off.
All right. Sounds good. So, do we have an idea where this nurse came from since she was outside of emergency? Was she like a triage nurse, or was she just like somebody that worked in emergency? Because if she was a triage nurse, I could probably get into the computer and just like fudge something real quick.
I'm gonna say make a world lore check.
14.
Okay, so as you kind of walk your way in, you happen to see kind of like a little poster, or just like a little a poster of some sort, or sign of some sort that it's like a little like color code that's like shows like the color of like the scrubs they're wearing, kind of shows like kind of what department that they work in. And by looking at that sign, you do find out that you are like a triage nurse.
Wonderful. Okay. I'm just gonna try to figure out the computer, try to like put in a fake patient and act as natural as possible.
Okay. Roll computers. I think that's the correct skill to use. I mean, it would be. Yeah, it would be computers.
At a 16.
You rolled a 16?
Yeah.
Okay, so with the kind of like the chip that you have, you were able to logging in was actually quite easy. Like you having that chip, so you're able to get into the computer and admit Ron into the system.
All right, sir. I will take you back to your room now. I'm just gonna like shove a wheelchair over to him and start pushing him down a hallway, hoping I can figure out where I'm going.
Okay. So I'm gonna switch back to Soleil for a moment. So Soleil is just kind of hanging out by the van, just kind of make sure that nothing bad happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say after a while, it's like everything's like kind of relatively quiet until you get kind of like a firm like kind of like knock on the door of the van.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay, so you're just kind of waiting and watching, like standing guard,
Mhm.
and after a while, maybe you're kind of like startled a little bit by kind of like a. It's not like a bang, but just like a, like kind of like a firm like knock on the like door of, or one of the doors to the van.
What do I see if I look out the window?
You're gonna see you're gonna see a man. He's relatively like kind of well built, and he appears to be like a security guard. You can kind of see he has like a vest on that says security, has a badge. He's got like some aviators sunglasses going on. Like wearing some aviators sunglasses on. He's just kind of waiting very patiently.
I'll let him wait. I'll let him practice that patience for probably a good 30 seconds. And then once that time has passed, I'll open up and I'll say, "Hey, get in here. There's a situation. Please get in here now."
For some okay, make a social skills check actually.
All right. That's going to be a solid 4.
So the security officer is he kind of like is a bit startled by your outburst a little bit, and he's just gonna again just like kind of he's gonna like keep his cool a little bit, and then he's gonna clear his throat, and he's gonna be like excuse me miss, my name is
I didn't ask your name. Get in here. It's a matter of life and death.
I'm sorry. Make another social skills check.
All right. Ugh, that's a 9. All right, I'm just gonna point the gun at him. Say, "Get in."
The security officer, he like makes a motion like he's going to be like reaching for like a pistol, but then he realizes he doesn't have his pistol on him. And he just kind of like curses to himself, just like, "Fuck, I should have brought my pistol." And he's just like, okay," and he gets in the van.
All right, don't mind the naked woman on the mattress. Just gonna ask you to kind of stay here and not interfere with anything. You may be used as a hostage later.
What's going on? I don't understand.
Lots of things. Let's start with one thing. All right? Government is corrupt. Party's been lying to you since childhood. We're trying to stop it. I don't expect you to help. You're more valuable as a hostage right now.
So the man's gonna kind of speak up. He's just like, "Wow, that's really I didn't think that I was gonna kind of meet somebody who'd had some of the same ideas."
Can I check to see if he's lying?
Make a social skills check.
All right. And that's another 9.
I'm gonna say like your kind of your police officer training is kind of a little bit rusty, and you can't seem to get like a good read on this guy.
Mm-hmm. Funny thing is, funny thing is, that seems like exactly the thing someone would tell not be a hostage. So while I do appreciate the sentiment, you're not getting let out.
That's fine. It's fine. I understand. It's like I've had like feelings that like things really weren't as they seemed like for a while. It's like I've just been far too afraid to like speak out because I know that like really speaking out against it just is a certain death.
Yeah, it kind of is. Um, Hopefully that changes, but if it is going to happen, people like us are going to have to make it happen, and that's what we're working on. Uh,
All right, all right, all right. So, well, okay. So I work I work security here, and if you like, normally I normally I'm you know I'm normally I'm armed, but it's like I was I was on break at the moment, and I had left my left my weapons like in the building. So I'm not trying to like trick you or anything. I'm just like saying if like whatever you're doing, if at some point you could let me back in the building, get my get my weapons, and I'll try and do my best so I can help you guys out. 'Cause-
all right, so I'm not doing this alone. There's some people in there already. When they get back, I will get their opinions on you, and we can make a decision. I appreciate your cooperation. I appreciate the offer. We're just going to sit tight for a little bit.
for some sort of dissident, you sound very professional. There's something.
Well, as a matter of fact, I am simultaneously a police officer and a fugitive of the state.
Huh, that makes sense, and I'm just a I never I didn't quite make it out of the police academy, but I was able to get a job working armed security. He just kind of kind of chuckles kind of nervously.
Well, you got to do what you can to get by in this system, unless, of course, you're born into a certain caste of people who live above us all.
Oh, like the Nazi aliens that Alec Johns keeps going on about on the Truth Crusade.
No.
But no, like the obviously
It's
there's
far more mundane. It's just certain families of people um, are in charge of us, basically. They nearly all of them are members of the inner party. They um, they work together by keeping everyone else from working together with each other. Um, it's a good system they've got as long as you're one of them. But hardly worth stewing on it now. Are you doing all right? You can have a seat if you want.
he's gonna he's gonna just kind of take a seat and it's kind of lay low and if you don't really have anything else to really say, we'll swap back over to Danny and Ron Springs.
Cool.
All right, so I'm gonna say that let's see, Danny has gotten like Ron into his room, and Danny has kind of very quickly kind of wandered off in search of something. So, but what's Ron gonna be doing?
I guess Ron is gonna just have his hand on his head, trying to look as in pain as possible. But yeah, he's just trying to play it up and I guess try not to move around too much, but he'll also be kind of taking in his surroundings, just seeing where like the exits are, where his room was, what floor we're on, just kind of all his police training is kicking in to just kind of get his bearings just in case things go wrong.
Okay. So, yeah, you're doing a pretty good job at you're doing a pretty good job at acting at putting on a good show that you're in pain, and Danny is, if I remember correctly, the last session you looked at the flash drive that Charlotte had passed on to Officer Springs before her untimely death. And I believe one of the things that they had uncovered was the Kerr family tree. And
yeah.
I believe that looking at the family tree, they found that one of Charlotte's many siblings works at the hospital as a doctor, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, so Danny would be is probably going to be looking for
So the plan's to kidnap her, right? Get her back to the van.
I do believe.
I think that would be the best idea, yeah.
So I'm probably gonna want to search out like a supply closet, and I'm gonna try to find some like something to tie her up with if I need to, I guess. Sounds like a good idea, like maybe some tubing, like oxygen tubing or something.
You make me perception. Sorry, I know that you got your hands full. I'm sorry.
It's good. I got an 8.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that's a semi-success. You're able to find like a kind of like a supply closet of some sort, but you're unable to find any sort of like anything that would be useful to tie someone up with.
Boo. Okay.
Okay, so
I guess seeing Danny kind of struggling, I'll just pull off some of my bed linen and try and covertly make some sort of makeshift kind of rope to at least tie up with. But I don't know how much success. If you want me to do a crafts roll or something like that.
Is there any? There's nothing in that closet that I could use to like do anything, like ace bandages or.
There's like alcohol swabs and stuff. I some little kids bandages.
Well,
some gauze. I mean, there might be gauze actually. That might some pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. Is there like a cleaning closet that I could get like chemicals to make something to knock her out? Ooh, medication actually would work for that.
Let's see.
Either one. I could try
That's
to be
funny.
crafty.
We're gonna make homebrewed chemicals when we have like a legitimate medical establishment.
Exactly.
So
homemade chloroform.
You're gonna look for like chemicals.
I'm gonna look for anything that I could maybe knock this lady out with.
Okay.
Because I would assume that she's going to be coming to visit Ron fairly shortly.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a. I'm gonna make a foraging check.
That's a 3.
Yeah, you're no dice. You don't find anything of the sort.
All right.
And kind of as you're kind of like looking around, you kind of hear over like the intercom. You just kind of hear like something like along the lines of Dr. Kerr, please report to neurology.
Well, she's here at least.
Okay, so yeah, like the two of you, like, so do like the two of you either continue searching, because I assume you're not in Ronald Springs, like the room that he was given, right?
Yeah, I think if we worked our way to a supply closet, we probably would have gone out of the room. But I'll quickly help look around a little bit longer, but I should probably get to my bed at some point. So I'll kind of make a little last scramble just to see if there's anything useful, but otherwise I'll start heading back to my bed.
Okay, yeah. Make a foraging check for me, is like just kind of in a last ditch effort.
So that's a 12 altogether.
I'm gonna say you are able to you are able to kind of find something to kind of, like, you are actually able to kind of find something to kind of if you were to kind of like, if you just wanted to like tie someone up, you were probably able to find like looking through whatever closet you find, you're probably able to find like some gauze or something, or like a couple like tourniquets or something.
Okay. That works. So I guess finding those, I'll just hold on to those and make my way back to my kind of hospital bed. And just get back to faking being sick.
Okay, so you make your way back to your room and kind of put your act back on, and a couple minutes later, a woman walks in a doctor's lab coat on. Like she has like a darker kind of like a skin complexion, similar that to like what Charlotte has, kind of like a black kind of shoulder length hair and kind of like an angled kind of bob kind of look. And she seems to have like some sort of like a, if you were to like kind of look at her right hand that's kind of poking out of the sleeve of the lab coat, you can kind of like see like some kind of a tattoo of sorts. And she's gonna kind of walk in and she's like, good afternoon, like, what did you I'm sorry, you came in under a false name. What was that name again, if you remember?
Oh, I think Trenton said it was like Clive Baker, if I recall.
Barker.
Oh, Clive Barker. That would make more sense, actually.
Okay, so the woman like within the coat, comes in. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Barker. My name is Dr. Alva Kerr. I am the doctor of neurology, here. And what she's also kind of looking over a it's not a tablet, it's not a clipboard, it's more like a tablet, like an iPad of sorts. And she's just like, so what brings you in to my hospital today?
I guess Ron's gonna just really play on the sick role, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, good evening, Dr. Kerr. I've been referred here because my neck and my head have just been, they don't know what's wrong with it. Just in absolute pain."
So you can see she's kind of like typing in just like the symptoms that you're experiencing. She's like, okay. Do you know when about when these symptoms started?
Off and on for years, but it's gotten worse and worse recently.
Danny's just kind of creeping like right outside the door, like wide-eyed, waiting for the right second.
Okay, make me a stealth check. Well, actually, I'll do you a favor and I'll roll it for you, if that's okay with you.
Thanks.
Okay. I'll roll that stealth for you. and you get a 13, which I will say, yeah, like, like Dr. Kerr is pretty well focused on her on doing her usual routine. She doesn't see or hear Danny step into the doorway, so like I would say if you were to like kind of I'll have you make another check if you were to kind of try and grab her, but I'd say I'll give you an advantage over it since you'd be like since you rolled relatively well. So Danny's just kind of standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're probably only like maybe like 20 feet away, maybe.
If it's in like a regular hospital room, probably like 5. I would think they're not usually that big in the emergency room.
Oh yeah, I don't really. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, you're probably a lot more like 5 foot. Sorry. So yeah, she's Alva is going to just kind of keep continuing to talk with Ron about his conditions, and does Danny want to try and make a move?
Yeah, I think so. I'll try to like kind of like sneak up real fast and grab her.
Right. I'm gonna make it's basically gonna be like a melee check or a melee attack. I'll roll that for you. I'll find the wrestling rule. I know it's in here. I just don't remember exactly what page it is. Oh, I found it. So, let's see. Right, so I'm going to make the roll here. Oh yeah, so yeah. Danny is able to kind of sneak up behind Alva pretty easily, and probably put like a hand over her mouth so she can't like to keep her from yelling. And does Ronald Springs do anything?
Yeah, Ron will just quickly jump up and help try to tie her up.
Ron springs into action.
Exactly.
Make a crafts check to see if you're able to kind of to like tie her up successfully.
If it's a 14, let me just see if I have any modifiers. Crafts check is a -5 untrained. So it's -4 actually because I have intelligence. So that's 10 altogether. Might not be the best, but
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's like kind of like a I'd say it's like a semi-success. You're able to kind of tie them together, but kind of loosely. Probably because I'd say she's probably kind of squirming quite a bit, so you're not able to like get get whatever you're trying to tie her up with, like a good like tight wrap around. So it's kind of loose. So I would say if she were to try and like kind of wrestle her way out of it, she'd probably break free pretty easily. So now that you have the doctor incapacitated for the most part, what's the plan of action for you guys?
I think I'll leave that up to the officer because I'm not used to this.
I didn't think I'll get this far.
I didn't either. But we're not going to let it stop us to get it any further. We have to get her out of here, and she's still conscious. She's partially restrained. I guess at this point I will do my best to try and contain her. And I guess if we have that wheelchair still around, we'll just try and kind of attach her or get her to sit down into it. I think that'd be the easiest way to get her out.
Alright, that could work. Should I like gag her? I could probably shove some gauze in her mouth and tape it shut.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Alright, I can do that.
Yeah, I guess I'll try and like bind her to the said wheelchair.
Yeah, I'll.
And we'll try and like gauze her up so she looks not quite much as a recognizable doctor that most staff would easily pick out of a crowd. We'll try and make her look more like a patient.
Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna say like I'm gonna make kind of like also a crafts check for Danny to see if like she's able to kind of properly like gag Dr. Kerr, and she does. She rolls a natural 20, so she's definitely.
Oh, I'm from the sex bus. I know how to gag people.
This is amazing. I think Ron's just
You say that
watching
in
and like
character?
kind of shocked. He's gonna watch that. Watch in shock as Danny just like expertly crafts this lady into basically like the perfect candidate to get this lovely lady out of here. So nicely done.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's see, conveniently like neurology is on the ground level.
Alright, we could probably just throw a sheet over and just push her real fast to the door.
Yeah, I'm saying the longer we linger, the more likely something's gonna go wrong. So let's just try and carefully get out of here. I guess if she has like a white lab coat or like a white doctor's coat.
Yeah, she's wearing her lab coat.
I will take that off of her and just make myself kind of look more like a, I guess porter, like kind of a just grunt of the hospital, more or less. Just trying to help wheel this lovely patient and this, I guess wherever this, nurse wants her to go. So we'll just try and wheel her out and just hope for the best.
Okay.
To the bus.
I'm gonna have both of you make acting checks. I will, of course, roll for Danny for now.
Thank you.
Just to kind of
This kid is like overtired, but she will not go to sleep.
So, you roll. Let's see. Danny rolled a 13. I'm trying to find her character sheet and see if she has any mods for.
I'm not sure if this will just ruin it for you. I rolled a 3, but I get a natural, or I get -2 for not being trained in acting and having no charisma. So I actually rolled a 1 altogether.
Okay, so
Which is hilarious, but
I'm gonna say Danny is fine, but yeah, Ron, you fumble. So
All right, so Danny's just gonna throw a sheet over this lady and just start like flying down the hall with her. So I think I can we should probably kind of remember how to get out.
yeah, I'm gonna say Ron, like he's trying his best, like he tries his best to kind of look like he works here, but he definitely kind of looks like he's somebody who's trying to make a break for it. I'll say that much. So I'd say probably word kind of I'll say word kind of gets out that like someone's trying to make like a patient's trying to make a break. And back in the van, you hear kind of like that very thing kind of crackle over the radio of the security guard. Did I don't think I ever introduced this guy's name, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember it.
I don't think you gave him a name, no.
Okay. So probably in the time being, he's probably introduced himself as like a security officer, Jonathan Stevens. So anyway, you probably you kind of hear kind of like that very thing kind of crackle over Stevens's or Jonathan's radio that say like a patient's kind of gotten loose and trying to make a break, trying to escape.
All right. Should Ron surrender and I just keep running? Because I'm sure he could get out of it. I have faith in you.
Yeah, Ron's gonna give Danny the nod, and she knows what that means, and he's just gonna try and find either another way out, or like a fire exit, or he's just gonna try and at least take diversion away from the Great Escape. It's kind of the priority right now.
And Danny is just flying down the hall in the path that she kind of knows, just going, out of the way, code brown, move it.
And yeah, seeing as like I'm not gonna have you like roll again because you already rolled well enough. So yeah, they just like they stand aside and just like let you take her wherever you need to go. And
No one wants to get in the way of a code brown. Nobody.
Ron is now kind of in like kind of a predicament. So now you kind of got like a kind of like a other like a hospital like faculty. Definitely not like the like you got like some of like the more well bit probably like male nurses trying to like chase you down.
All right, I guess if I can at least avoid their their gaze for a little bit, I'll try and double back into my hospital room. Hopefully undetected.
Make stealth check.
Okay. It's a 14 plus dexterity, which is +1, so it's a 15 altogether.
All right, so yeah, I'd say, yeah, you're able to like evade like some of these I'd say like your your room is probably like kind of like just around a corner, so you probably like round a corner and duck right back into your room, and these followers just kind of run right by. Probably, I mean, there's probably like a CCTV like all throughout the hospital, so it'd probably take like a couple minutes, kind of like before like the message would get by. So
Yeah, I'm sure they
you at
could
least have a
easily
couple more
figure out
minutes to kind
where I
of
was. Yeah.
escape.
Being on the main floor, can I just check if the windows open at all?
Um, I would imagine that the windows they probably don't like really. I'd say they do kind of open, but they only open like a couple inches.
Classic hospital windows.
So unless
Yeah.
you could probably like if you wanted, you could probably try and like force it, or even just like break the window, or try to. But
Yeah, I think that's the best option. I'm not going to sit around here waiting for this to cool down. Like,
yeah, make me it's like a general strength check.
okay, natural one. Let's just triple check if I have power of will. Of course I don't. Yeah, I
Yeah, I'm
rolled
gonna
a natural
say
one.
like you probably try and like charge at the window to try and break, but you like trip and you like face plant into the glass.
Brutal. Okay. Ronald just kind of rethink as pain courses through his body. What the best option is to do here. I guess he'll slowly, calmly work his way back in the hallway, kind of take a glance to make sure there's no active, people trying to get him, and he'll start to see if he can find a nurse that he can ask if he can make his way outside for a vape break. Let's put it that way, because he knows that's a thing. So he'll say, I was just dismissed by Dr. Kerr. If he does find a nurse that's willing to talk to him. And she said I can go out for a vape break, is what his line will be.
Yeah, make me another acting check.
Perfect. Seven, which would be a 5.
I'm gonna say like when you found like another nurse, right?
Yeah, ideally, yeah.
And yeah, so the nurse is just like you're the one that's trying to escape, and she tries to kind of grab you.
All right, enough of this. I'm just gonna try and avoid her and just try and bail. I'm either gonna get caught or I won't. So
So you're just gonna try and just you're just gonna try and make it just again make a break for it.
I guess so. I'm really not seeing many options other than that right
I'm
now.
gonna say
'Cause
roll acrobatics.
that might be better. Something my character's trained at. Another 7. That's actually an 8. So not amazing, but
Let's see. I'm gonna say you. I'm gonna say that's kind of like maybe a semi-success. I'm gonna say you. Kind of your like the adrenaline really starts going, and like you just start, like running down the, like, just kind of booking it down these halls, and at some point you kind of make like a weird kind of like land on like you're rounding a corner and you land on your ankle kind of weird, so you kind of like roll your ankle, but like you don't really feel it, but you'll definitely feel it like once you're to like kind of stop, like you'll definitely kind of start feeling the pain from it, and you'll probably get like I'll probably give you like a -2 to your any movement skills for
Any dexterity? Okay.
yeah.
That's fair.
Right, so
I guess, does Ron have any idea where in the hospital he is right now, or is he just fleeing madly?
roll navigation.
That's a 2. So probably not.
Yeah, like you didn't fumble, but it's just like kind of in your panic, like you kind of you kind of get lost a little bit,
Okay.
or you're kind of like getting yourself deeper and deeper into like the actual hospital. Okay. So we're gonna go back to the van with Soleil and Jonathan Stevens, the security guard. And does Danny make her way back to the van?
That was the plan. You probably see me like flying through the parking lot with this sheet covered wheelchair.
I will open up the back doors of the van and hey Danny, looks like mission accomplished. Also, we've got company.
Yeah, well, I got her. Hi. But I lost Ron.
What do you mean lost Ron?
He's still inside.
What do you mean? Like, what are the circumstances?
They think that he's a patient trying to flee, so they're keeping him.
Oh.
Jonathan's going to speak up and just like leave that to me. Like if you'll give me a chance, I will try and locate your comrade, and I will pretend to take him into custody.
Danny's going to be very confused because she has no clue who this person is, but she's just going to go, I guess.
I think this guy's on our side, so this may be our best bet. If you want to go with him, though, that might be best. And bring a gun.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna, obviously he's already in his uniform, and he's just gonna say, like, this will give me my perfect opportunity to grab my armaments. Like the security office is like right there. This is like right by the like the emergency room like entrance. So like I know my stuff's like right in there. So I'll just I can just grab it on the way in.
All right, that sounds good. I don't remember what kind of gun Danny has. I'll grab whatever I have. I think, yeah, I have a little like 9mm handgun, so I guess I'll just like shove that into the waistband of my scrubs and head back in.
Okay, so yeah, Jonathan will accompany Danny back into the building. Like they kind of run back in, and Jonathan like runs in. He grabs his pistol, and he also grabs a per like kind of standard. He's also issued a submachine gun normal.
You guys mean business, don't you?
Absolutely. We don't take chances. Like nobody we don't have private ownership of firearms, but yet we still like arm ourselves like we do. So he just, he's kind of, booking it down the hall with like Danny, just armed to the teeth, and let's have the both of you. I'm gonna roll for both Danny and Jonathan. See if they find Ron, and they both rolled 16. So
well, I mean, he's just back in his room, right? Like I knew where his room was, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, he was kind of running off. He's loose. He
gotcha.
ducked back into his room, and then he came back out, right? And then like he basically was trying to like trick like another nurse, but she didn't fall for it, and she tried to subdue him. So he's Ron's still loose within the hospital. So I'm gonna say, since they both rolled pretty well, they find Ron, and in his like most authoritative voice, like he's definitely got like the authority for like a police officer, for someone who didn't make the cut. He kind of yells out to Ron, just like, freeze, with his submachine gun trained at him, probably like a Heckler and Koch UMP sort of thing. But what do you think kind of Ron kind of got himself into from the time that he escaped the grasp of like the one nurse to this moment now? It's probably about like maybe like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like Ron was trying to work his way through just any kind of back hallways, trying to find a good quiet exit, and then he found the food court, and he was like, this is not going to work. So he was working his way back, and then he hears freeze. So then I think he's had enough, and he kind of realizes he's worked himself into a bad spot, so he's just going to kind of slowly turn around and put his hands up and be like, all right, chase up.
Yeah, so Steven's gonna do his part. He's gonna like handcuffs your hands behind your back, and he's gonna kind of start leading you towards like the direction of like the security office. But what's interesting, or what maybe gives you a little bit of like maybe comfort, is seeing that Danny was accompanying him.
Yeah, I guess Ron wouldn't say anything, but he just kind of make eyes with Danny to just try and see like what kind of situation are we in? Like, did you get caught too, or?
For someone with a really bad headache, you sure are combative.
He'll just kind of give her a smile and then just, I guess, follow along, knowing we're in good hands.
All right, so yeah, Jonathan will lead the two of you back to the van, and so now like the three of you kind of reconvene. So now you have like the four of you are now back together. You have this nurse that you have taken hostage, and you also have Alva, probably still bound and gagged.
All right. So I guess I'll take the scrubs back off and give them back to this poor woman. Are we letting her go, or does she know too much now?
I mean, I don't really know what was discussed in the car while I was gone, but I don't see a reason we should just kill her. She did her
Way I
part.
see it, it's just one more hostage.
You kind of cut out a little bit there, so could you repeat that?
The way I see it, it's one more hostage.
Okay.
And we can't really let her go because, well, it's imperative that we remain undetected as long as possible. Well, maybe not imperative, but at least helpful.
Alright. Maybe we could probably dump her somewhere too, like far off, if nothing else. I'll get Daniel get back in her normal clothes, and so what have you done with the doctor while we were in getting Ron?
What have I done?
Yes.
Nothing.
She's still just sitting outside the van?
Oh, shoot. No, I put her in the van. I would have done that anyway.
Like, wow, she's still sitting here.
I don't think I explicitly said that I was doing that, though, so your call, Mythmaster.
I would imagine that you probably put her in the van just to, because it would be probably very suspicious or draw quite a bit of attention to just have a bound and gagged woman just hanging out.
Well,
Yeah.
she had a sheet over her, so it could just be like a really active dead body.
Yeah, a really active dead body. A very lively dead body.
A ghost?
Yeah, a ghost.
Yeah. So I'm assuming she's still bound and gagged. Just kind of like on the mattress at this point.
Yeah, I would imagine that since Soleil really didn't do anything, so I'd imagine she's still bound and gagged.
Alright, so I'm gonna wait until, I'm assuming we're gonna start like driving off making a getaway at this point. I'm gonna stay in the back with the hostages.
So Danny's staying in the back with the 2 hostages.
And probably the security guard. I don't know if he's gonna...
I'm gonna say, since the team of 4, I'd imagine.
It's a party in the back of the bus,
yeah.
essentially.
Okay, so you've got your 2 hostages, and you've got like Danny and security guard Jonathan Stevens are kind of keeping tabs or keeping watch over the hostages. What's the plan of action for really the 2 of you? Are you gonna...
What was our grand strategy again? It's been a while.
Truthfully, I don't remember.
I know we definitely had to talk to some of the Kerr families. Is what I think. I guess it's to find out what she knows, find out what part of the family she knows, find out if she has any information at all for us. But yeah, we were kind of just taking a stab at the dark here.
Yeah.
I think we were going to use the doctor as a hostage for something.
I mean, this is an important family member, and well, not an important family member, but it's an important member of an important family.
Yeah. She's one of
she's not
one of the very few members of the secret upper class that blends in or has chosen to be an informant to kind of keep tabs on the populace.
She's probably another alien like the one you killed earlier.
Probably, yes. But yeah, she's not an unimportant person to have in our company. Let's put it that way.
What we could maybe do is think on it later, and for now, end the session. I don't know.
That sounds fine. Sounds fine to me. And then we can figure out because we it's been probably almost a month since we got together, and I forgot to take notes on that session, so that was that's bad on me. So anyway, I'm gonna end the session here.